Why am I like this? Why am I tiny? Get me big. Get me front and center. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to CryptoGraphics, and welcome to the first of very many Titan community hangouts where we're going to be getting together, and anyone that wants to come on stream here, hang out, shoot the shit, talk about whatever life you want to talk about, hobbies you want to talk about, I don't know, trees, talk about anything. This is the place for it. I want to get to know you guys. I want us to get to know one another, to connect, and also get excited about things and really build this community out. So that's the point of this stream. It's going to be every Saturday. I'm going to try out 11 a.m. EST this week, see how it does, and we'll slowly get the word out that we're doing this. And a lot of inspiration came from RG3 and SJ for this, which they're doing for the Hex community. I thought this would be a fantastic way to, rally the troops, so to speak, and get us all fired up for this bull run. So let me see who's here. I see no one's in the back room just yet. It's an open forum, and if you guys are wanting to join this stream, all you need is a camera and a microphone. You can come on, you can hang out. I want to know where you're from. I want to know your story. It'd be really cool to get to know you guys. So let's hop into the chat while we are waiting to see if anyone else is going to join. We're going to be on here for probably like 45 minutes to an hour if no one joins, and I'll just hang out with you guys in the chat, which is still going to be great. So I've got my coffee. I'm chilling. I am ready to rock. I'm still a little bit groggy, but I feel like that's what Saturday mornings are for. Slow mornings, enjoying the morning, looking at some trees and so on. So let's see what's going on in chat here. So again, you guys want to come hang out? Join the stream. The StreamYard link is in the chat. Dusty Frets. I love this guy. So Dusty, it's good to see you, man. I hope you're well. It's really cool how many people in that I've had the luxury of speaking with, in the past are beautiful people, have really amazing life stories, and Dusty is one of them. So Dusty, man, if you ever want to come up and share your wisdom that you've shared with me at some in the past, would love to have you up here. Dusty is an amazing human. Who will join you? Hopefully you. Get on up here, man. Would love to see you. Love to have you. Weaponhead. Again, and welcome, Weaponhead. You're everywhere. Value community member. Thank you. It's asking for Helios Dow. Are you creating a pool with Elementor? When is the best moment to buy Taurus off the market to pair for Dude? This is a great question. And let's actually just start with this. So are you creating a pool with Element? The Taurus smart contract is not designed to create anything with Element. The best moment, and now in regards to creating a pool, I guess anyone can create a pool at any time. But here's the thing, is there's not going to be a lot of supply to create pools with initially. And so if you're creating a pool when there's not a lot of supply, you're likely to get a lot of volatility, which, I mean, is good for volume. But A, you're not going to get a lot of tokens. And B, I mean, you're going to see a lot of volatility. You're going to see upside and downside volatility there as well. And I mean, on a personal note, I'm not really wanting to have too many LPs initially. I want this pool to be as tied to TitanX as possible, specifically, as it helps the system run smooth, and it helps it to the upside as well as the downside. But more or less, obviously, it's up to you guys. You guys can do whatever you want with your money, but I didn't design it that way. And it's kind of the way I'd see it operating. So the best moment is probably, if you're going to create pools, probably after the first 88-day cycle is around. So there's supply, but LP is thick enough where, if you're starting a Helios, or sorry, not Helios, an Element LP, it's not going to be super impactful on the price or on the system. So I would say something like that. It's kind of my thoughts so far. Let's go Volt. I really do hope Volt does well. And I haven't seen Steve in a little while. Would love to see Steve, if you're watching this, dude, come on stream. Let's hang out. I want to hear how you're doing. Annika, welcome. Greetings from Sweden. What time is it in Sweden? It's probably like what? 4 or 5 p.m. I would assume right now. Thanks for tuning in. If you ever want to come on stream, this is the place. John T, ready for Taurus to ignite the TitanX community? Me too. I really hope. And let me show you a tweet. Shout out to, I think his name is Crypto Lion, Titan Lion. What's his name? Where is it? Crypto Lion at Lions Enclosure. I love this guy. And not just because he's saying nice things, but like he's always tweeting out great stuff. He's making fantastic content on X in terms of his opinions. I like him anyways. So that's you and you're watching. Thank you. Let me go and present real quick here. Are you guys reading this screen? Like, I mean, to me, when I see someone with that much conviction, like personally, I really believe this thing's going to be huge or can be huge. I've learned as much as I possibly can from everything and taken it in a direction that, no one's really taken a protocol before. But to say the words, Taurus will be bigger than Hex, bookmark this tweet. You, my friend, are a savage, and I love you. You know what? I hope so. I hope so, because if Taurus is bigger than Hex, it brings up 40 other protocols with it. And that to me is special. It's not just a single moonshot where, one protocol does really well or one chart does really well. It's 40 other charts. And I think that's really special. So it's a kind of a unique situation. And I appreciate your sentiment. I appreciate, you having the conviction. I love that this is out there already. This means a lot. It really does. So I couldn't be more ecstatic to see tweets like this already. Let me stop sharing here. Taurus will be a monster. Well, it was designed to be a compounding monster. So I hope so. I really, really do. And I appreciate the kind words. And welcome, John T. Welcome, Ben. Welcome, Annika. I don't know if I said that already. Weapon Head. Maybe better to mine some for max term with the Dow and then pair with Element. Probably you'll get the most amount of tokens per dollar by doing that. I think, like, for the sake of LP, you're definitely better off getting or going into the system, because then what's happening is you're contributing to the main LP to stabilize that, and you're able to get most likely far more Taurus per dollar than you would be able to initially, just because of the LP size and probably what the price is going to do. It just doesn't really make sense from an economical standpoint, an economics standpoint. But this is a cool conversation. I like the idea of, expanding. And let's also see too, I really believe in Taurus and this ecosystem and what Taurus can bring to the ecosystem. But let's also make sure that things work perfectly, and it's designed perfectly with 3 audits, I think. But always got to watch and wait. Hello, Bear Brothers. Time for the bull run next week. Man, are we almost there? I think we're there. I can't believe next week Taurus launches. I seriously can't. It's insane to me. Absolutely insane. So good to see you, Darko. Dusty's doing well. Fantastic, man. Again, would love to have you on here. Annika, 17. 5. I think it's 5. Are you saying 5 p.m.? Forgive me, trying to interpret just a number when I don't remember exactly what I said. TitanX made me broke. Well, it broke all of us in spirit at one point, just from how long this has taken to pick up the pace again. Yes, Annika. Okay, good. Figured it out. But hopefully this is a resurgence for you, my man or woman, whoever you are. EMM, greetings from Japan. When will TitanX go 10x? Soon, I hope. We don't know. No one knows. But what I can tell you is ETH is coiled and ready to rock, it looks like. And because of that, I mean, if ETH starts rocking and rolling, then TitanX is going to follow just via liquidity bonding. And that's a really exciting thing. Taurus could be a catalyst. And if Taurus is a catalyst, then all the other ecosystem tokens are going to start rising a little bit as well, if there is a catalyst and TitanX starts rising. And then you'll see a lot of green candles. And green candles are the best form of marketing. Green candles and ROIs. Those are fantastic. Hex Yoda reposted the stream. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Good to see you here. And Axiom X. Axiom's everywhere. Taurus could be a major catalyst. I really think so too. Weaponhead saying Taurus will not be bigger, but price appreciation will be higher when TitanX is a program 55,000x. That's true. And we'll see. I shouldn't say that's true, but Taurus will not be bigger, but price appreciation will be higher when TitanX is a programmed 55,000x. We'll see. Nobody knows, man. I've got no idea. And either way, if it even gets a little bit close or does some kind of numbers, like you just said, 55,000x is insane to think about. That means for every dollar you put in, you get 55,000 out of it. That's insane. EMM, I have 165 billion TitanX. I would be careful with posting your exact numbers, what's in your wallet, because someone could basically go and track you if they really wanted to. But what I'll say is I have 165 billion. How much should I swap to Taurus? I don't want to tell you that. Man, there's so many ways to think about it. I mean, TitanX, here's something to think about, right? If Taurus does well and does its job, does what it's designed to do, it's going to drive demand through TitanX and push up the value of TitanX, which also enhances the value of Taurus. But something to think about here too is that Taurus, if that's happening, the way Taurus is designed to work is to increase your bag in TitanX terms, right? Now, there's going to be up times, there's going to be down times. So there are going to be times where this is true and probably times where this is not true. Now, I don't know how long each state is going to exist for. And it's going to be a more like a wave, right? Where there'll be times when, there's lots of ROI in TitanX, and then people are going to sell in compound, or maybe not, because this is the one thing I actually have no idea with, is how the market's going to value the staking side, because staking is only 88 days and you get basically the same power as creation, which is very different because in other protocols, you had 10-year and 15-year stakes that would give you the max amount of shares in the system, and you get advantages for doing so, which kind of dilutes the system, and it does a whole lot of interesting things that I'm not really a huge fan of. But this time, it's only 88 days, and you get the same power and shares as creation, which could mean that if people don't understand creation, they could opt to stake, and that is always buy pressure if people are buying Taurus and staking it, which could keep the price, theoretically, right? It could sustain the price higher than it normally would be able to if the mechanics of Taurus didn't exist in the way that they do. So we'll see. So again, not trying to tell you anything about, you have TitanX, what to do. It's just more of like considerations. And obviously I can't tell you that. I personally, the way I operate is the more I understand something, the more I'm all in, and all in's also a dangerous strategy too, but that's kind of the nature of me personally. And I wouldn't recommend anyone following who I am specifically in my personal strategies. For a lot of people, diversity in some sense will work. Just dipping your toe in will work. Going half in, 10% in. It really just depends, and I can't be the one to tell you that. It's a very hard question, very personal question. Maybe it's to do with your conviction of how well Taurus will do, so on. So I can't say. I would love to be able to, but you know how it is, man. You know how it is. But thank you for being here. Thank you for your questions. You guys can discuss it in chat. Maybe you guys have some input on that. And great, I did nail it. Well, great to see you here, Annika. I appreciate you being here all the way from Sweden. I would love to go to Sweden someday. What's Sweden like right now? I have no idea. And I would love to go to Europe, man. I've been over to, so speaking of traveling, maybe that's something we can talk about. I've traveled to Indonesia, specifically Bali. I've been to Thailand, Australia, Mexico, Costa Rica, but I've never been, further south of Costa Rica, which I really want to go do. I was learning un poco español in Costa Rica. How do I even say it again? I'm probably going to butcher it. Estoy no bueno. Hablo español. Not very good. Uh, how do I'm just gonna stop before I embarrass myself. But I would love to come over to Europe. I know there's a lot of you over in the UK. Apparently, there's a few of you, or at least one of you over in Sweden. And I would love to go see everything over in Europe. There's so many beautiful countries. I would love to even go to like Dubai, check out what's going on over in the Baltics. I want to go to like Germany, and I would love to just travel the world personally. I love international, the idea of going international and experiencing new culture and getting out of the patterns that we all grow up in. And so, and language too. I'm kind of sluggish on it right now, but I was getting decent, for someone who's just learning at Spanish when I was in Costa Rica recently. So hopefully one day I'll be able to do that. Really want to, especially because I'm a big fan of learning about spirituality, and I'm not religious, but I do enjoy learning about religion for the sake of like what is contained within religion that is valuable and seems to me to be another angle at what personally I deem as or what might be, I should say, truth. And that's a whole different discussion, which maybe we don't do first thing in the morning. But I appreciate you being here, and maybe one day I'll make it over to Sweden. I mean, I want to go over there so bad. I really do. I always have. Real quick, curious, why not just set a date and time for launch instead of a range? So the reason for this is simply because snipers exist, and people take advantage of a date and time, and they'll basically get the supply from the liquidity pool initially, and then they'll dump on people, which you can't really prevent completely because people can hop in as soon as they see the deployer address and wait for the contract address. It is what it is. But this is my attempt to kind of mitigate the ability for people to come in and just take over launch, take the supply, which it only really matters for people that decide they want to stake instead of creating. This is why creating is more than likely going to be the better option for numerous reasons. I mean, if you're coming in and creating, the people that are sniping are your exit liquidity. So if everyone were to come in and create, and the snipers were to come in and buy it up and hold the price up, then those of you who are creating are likely to be able to use them as exit liquidity if they hold. But again, those are games that no guarantee and are high risk as well, because if they just pump the price and compete with each other and then dump, then you're back in the danger territory where now you got to deal with what's it called? You got to deal with low prices, short creation, and very low chance of ROI. So it's dangerous. So I don't recommend anyone playing those games. I recommend, if I can even recommend anything, which is maybe dangerous, just letting others play the games they want to and playing your own game, but it's to do with snipers specifically and making sure that people are not getting hammered by these guys, right? That are trying to take advantage. EMM all in, bro. Best leverage on TitanX in a safe way. There you go. Nice to see you, man. Crypto connoisseur. Great to see you as well, my friend. Taurus might just stoke the TitanX fire. Perfect timing with ETH starting to move. Man, it's been crazy how this whole build process has gone because, when we were deciding to launch, it was kind of a, beat the market kind of mentality. And as soon as we made the decision to go for it, things started turning around like right away. And really wasn't expecting that, but it's been a crazy journey because with Taurus specifically, Taurus was supposed to launch in January, believe it or not. And here we are in July. So, I mean, it's been just insane. Like first, had to switch dev teams, which took 2 months longer than I had anticipated. And then once started working with Build the Tech, Taurus just turned out to be a lot more complex, and there's just lots of steps. And then when we were done the code in about, I think it was March or April, maybe it was May, I can't quite remember. But then we started our auditing process, and we did the first audit. It came back. We did a second audit based on the code. It was that like the first audit wasn't quite done yet in terms of getting the final report, but we had all the findings. And then just a bit of a delay and some interesting things started happening. And so that delayed the first audit for a while. And then that was another, I don't know, a couple weeks. And then finally, this deliberation of like, okay, well, do we do a third audit? And it just kept dragging on and on and on and on and on. It was just crazy how life was saying like, nope, there's just curveballs left, right, and center, just preventing Taurus from launching, which I actually wanted to launch in January. And thank God that it didn't happen, because that would have been an atrocious time to launch. So here we are. It's kind of just been the natural outcome. I can't honestly say that it was, other than choosing now to launch sooner than later. I can't really say that the timing was, completely out of pure patience and willpower. I really don't have the luxury of saying that, and I just can't. So we'll see, though. I'm really excited. Annika, are you going to stream live at launch? Yep, absolutely. There's no way I'm not going to stream at launch. This is like one of the biggest things I've ever done and been a part of in my life. And I can't wait to press that stream button and go live. That's going to be a super fun day. I really can't wait. And plus, we're going to have so much to talk about. I mean, I'm going to be nervous as hell. I mean, I feel fine now. I don't feel stressed at all. I feel zero anxiety, but I have a feeling that when that day comes, there's going to be a lot going on in the fields. Webinar says, not the time to hold Liquid TitanX or mine Taurus or buy other bots. I don't understand necessarily. If you're saying not the time to hold or mine or buy other bots, so what's it time for then? I don't understand. Utah, what is up, my man? Hope you're doing well. All good. I see that you can't join. No problem, man. Safe travels wherever you're going. Hope you guys are having a great week, or hope you and your fam or whoever you're traveling with is having a great weekend. I wish you could, but he's traveling. So it's like where I grew up. I grew up in the Yukon in Canada, or here in Canada. So I'm used to 2025. 2025 is like, just into fall, just into spring in where I'm from. I actually remember being grade 6. It was grade 6. And my teacher had brought out the TV to see if we could go outside for our recess. And we weren't allowed to go outside because it said -60 on the TV before wind chill. And the wind chill was like high 60s or 70, I believe. So, man, I'm tired of the cold, but I would bear it again if it was for a beautiful country like Sweden, because, man, I've heard amazing things. And how's the skiing in Annika? How's the skiing in Sweden, Annika? Because I used to be a freestyle ski coach back in the day, and I would love to strap on a pair of skis again if the Swedish mountains have some good hills. I actually have no idea. So that would be something I would be interested in. And yeah, of course, Celsius. Of course. That is cold, though. That's really cold. And if you have that right now, that's brutal. I'm sorry to hear. Time to come to the Amsterdam TitanX Festival, next anniversary of TitanX and OKT. I would love to, man. I would love to go to Amsterdam. Amsterdam sounds like a wild place. It also sounds like a beautiful place. So yeah, I obviously can't commit, but like I would love to. Amsterdam does sound cool. I want to go as well. Steve, you are more of Ibiza. Why am I an Ibiza type of guy? I don't actually know anything about Ibiza. Isn't Ibiza like a big party town? I am not a party guy. I am go to bed early, wake up early, go climb, go boulder. I actually love airsoft as well. It's a big thing. I find that really fun. And I live a very quiet life. I don't really like to party. Not at all. I feel like it's not. I obviously had that phase. We all I shouldn't assume we all did, but I had my fair share of having fun. And it's no longer what I'm into. Tired of that. Plus, dude, I don't have time for that right now. Like, are you kidding me? There's so much work to be done. I got to be streaming basically daily, making content daily at this point because it's go time. Taurus about to launch. TitanX about to pop off. ETH's about to pop off. BTC's about to pop off. No time for that. Priorities. When Taurus on base? Well, I had the thought originally of doing something like that, but I don't really see the value in that personally. You know, maybe like a mini version of it could maybe go on base. But I also don't like the centralization that's on base. I like the decentralization on ETH, and I like the decentralization on Pulse Chain, which is why I'm launching Unity on Pulse Chain. But if people want to bridge over to base with their Taurus, if there's a protocol that's over there, man, go for it. Do whatever. But I don't have any reason at this point to even really consider. I really was considering it in the beginning. But the more I've thought about it, the more I'm like, it doesn't really fit with my values personally. So not really overly convinced at this point. Good to have an exact time and date to prevent people sell other bots right before to have dry powder to mine. Or good to not have an exact time. Yeah, exactly. So you just got to be prepared. And I don't want people gaming things. I want people to make the decision and stick to it and just wait for the time. Damien, welcome to the stream, man. Oh, man, another stream. A good stream, not an R. Kelly, or I don't even want to say his name. I don't want to say both their names, although I said the one already. But my God, two interesting humans that, yeah, what a time to be alive. Weaponhead. What I mean is when we start going up, every build on TitanX token will outperform TitanX. So why hold TitanX when you can have a leverage play? It's a valid point. Teach their own, though. You got to play games that and that you're sure you can really win at. I think liquidity is a great consideration as well. But to each their own. I hope whatever you guys do, you just absolutely crush it at. What it says, Ibiza got a party side and a spiritual side. Oh, interesting. So is it kind of like Bali? Because Bali was essentially that. It was like full blast party mode at night and like till the wee hours of the morning every single night, especially obviously on weekends. And you know what? In Bali too, the Aussies are everywhere in Bali. It was hilarious. It was I actually ran into some really cool people, and they recommended a food place that absolutely destroyed me. It was terrible advice. And then I met up with them later and we did some karaoke. And it was fun. It was a great time. And then I wish they had invited me down to New Zealand, or no, was it Tasmania? I think it was Tasmania actually. They invited me down. I never got a chance to go down there, but it looked beautiful from the pictures they were showing me. And no idea if they're watching this, but you know who you are. Oh, I don't think there's any chance of them seeing this, but so it is like Bali. Very cool. Sounds fun. Sounds very fun. What's interesting too is like, I like the spiritual side of things in terms of like, going places where spirituality is like almost like an activity, because there's yoga and there's retreats and you meet cool people and it's a different vibe. But I don't know. It's also funny too, because I don't really like, how do I even put this? If spirituality is like a hobby, I'm not really a big fan of that. Like, it's not like, I don't think you could put spirituality on a t-shirt and wear it, if you know what I mean. I feel like it's more like the subtle aspects of my life. I want, like, in how I connect with everything is more spiritual than any activity could be, whether it is meditation or yoga or going and sitting in a church. For me, I found like this is going to sound hilarious, but I've found like bouldering and airsoft and other activities that really show me who I am. When I remember I was going to airsoft for the first time and I wasn't wearing a face mask and I didn't have a big cushion pinned to my face. And I took a couple shots, and these things are flying like 350, 400 plus feet per second. with weighted BBs, it can hurt. And it was the first time I took one to the face, and it was a spiritual experience because I was freaking angry. And that showed me, it's like, whoa, I have this thing where I interpret pain as like, because to me, it's an experience, right? Pain is an experience. Obviously, it's like no one wants to experience pain. But like my first reaction was like, screw that person. Like I was angry at them, and even though I signed up for the game, I knew what I got myself into, but immediately I interpreted like that hitting me in the face is like, I don't like that person anymore. Like, and I recognized it right away. And I was like, whoa, this is cool. I can't believe that a game, a little bit of pain, a little prick on the cheek can do that to me. So moral of the story is I personally have found non-spiritual activities to be very spiritual in nature. And in the sense of like, it opens your mind up to who you are. It shows you your own qualities. But hey, the people that you meet that go to places like Bali are beautiful. So I think it would be cool to see that. And not to deflect or dismiss, but more to just say, I think there's value in seeing, spirituality and more than just spiritual activities, because you find spirituality everywhere. In this microphone, right? As equally as this hat. So it's my take anyways. Could be a bad take, could be a good take. No idea. It's how I live my life. Ben, can't wait to see Taurus on Titan Farms and Ouroboros. Well, what I can say is me too. Me too. I think that will be a powerful combo. If Taurus is rocking and rolling, if you've got Ouroboros rock and roll, and none of this is guaranteed, right? But I would love to see it as well. Titan Farms and Ouroboros are powerful tools, and I think that could be really good because if there are other tools that are incentivizing people to utilize Taurus, then what that's actually doing is it's creating an interesting economy where, the demand or the use case for Taurus is increasing, but the ROI for the system, because you're taking tokens and you're moving them elsewhere, it's actually increasing the ROI for the Taurus system for people that are staying there, while simultaneously supporting and utilizing Taurus in other ways. So it's kind of a win-win-win for the ecosystem, and it can generate demand for Taurus as the token, which could push up the price of Taurus, increase ROI. It's a cool chain reaction that can happen. And, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't want to create expectations. Let's see. Yeah, like Bali, but more quality and better. Oh, really? Okay, interesting. Because Bali was, where did I go? I went to Ubud, which Ubud was great. There's a pyramid. I got recommended to go to this. Where was it? It was, I think it was north of Ubud by like an hour or so. Oh, what was it? It was like a sacred pyramid. It had this crazy, like you go in and it was this like next level experience where they had like flashing laser lights and like sound bath. And it was intense, man. It was wild. And the food was, I guess the food was okay in Bali. It wasn't really, I actually loved Thai food so much. And I preferred the taste of the coconuts in Thailand versus Bali. But that also might have just been maybe, I don't know, maybe I just didn't get the good coconuts in Bali. But that's good to know. That's really good to know. Where is Ibiza? I gotta look it up on a map. I don't even know where that is, honestly. I know the song. Took a pill in Ibiza. Off the Iberian Peninsula. Spanish island. Okay. Oh, hold on. I'm in the wrong spot here. Oh, it's just off the coast of Spain. Okay, so there's Ibiza. There's Ibiza is a city, I'm assuming. Yeah, Ibiza. So the island is called Ibiza and Mallorca are the two islands. That's cool. By the Balearic Sea. Okay, good to know. I'm gonna check that out at some point. Would love to, because hey, if I'm over in Spain at some point, man, why wouldn't I go to Ibiza? When TitanX moons, I'm gonna buy a holiday home over there. That would be the place to do it. Seriously, it looks incredible from what I'm seeing here. Like, wow, that would be so nice. That'd be so nice. Darren James, DeFly, you made yourself broke, homie, but hold on, you can blame Jake for making you rich soon. I mean, hopefully, yeah, I think the tides are going to turn. And I do want to be able to blame the founders for making me and everyone else, have amazing lives. So that is what I can say for certain. Again, guys, if you want to come on, hang out, and chat about life or anything, Ibiza, traveling, this ecosystem, whatever, man, come hang out. Let's see what's going on the other socials here. So we got 75, 79 on X, we got 29 on the Taurus X. And let's see, what can I talk about here? Here we go, Damien. Where you guys said you would make a good where do you guys think would make, or where you guys said would make a good holiday home? Bali? I mean, Bali could be cheap. I think you can get like you can rent villas in Bali for really cheap, and some of the rice fields that are out there are just absolutely astonishing. They're so gorgeous. Like seriously, I was lucky enough to get a scooter and rip around Bali, and that's its own experience. I would be careful if you're going to Bali. Bali's like, especially in Ubud, it's like Mario Kart. Like people pass on opposing lanes, but the cars that are coming towards you don't stop. And so if you hit somebody, well, if you're getting too close, they'll just hit you. I mean, I watched a head-on collision when I was going to, I think it was the Monkey Temple, south of the volcano. What was it called? I can't remember what it was called. But I like Bali, but I don't love Bali enough to want to have a holiday home there personally. I think Thailand was beautiful. I mean, even Costa Rica, but Costa Rica is really expensive. I don't think I've traveled to enough places to know where the best place to have a holiday home would be. Because I mean, for me, my criteria would be great food. It's not overly busy. It's developed enough where you know where to get good food, you know where to get good water, you know where to get like there's accessibility. And I don't think for me I've personally found that yet. I love Melbourne and Ocean Grove, but it's a little too cold down there for me to want to live down there. Cairns is beautiful. I don't think I'd want to live in Cairns. I don't think I'd want to live in Australia though. The wildlife is a little too wild for me. Weaponhead, it sounds like you've done some traveling, or maybe, but what's your guys' opinions on the best place to live for a holiday home? Also, some of those places you need to be resident at minimum to invest by property. You can also look into residency citizenship by investment. Exactly. Well, there's a lot of places. I mean, depends on how bougie you want to go, but you can invest in places like the Bahamas for like 100K. I believe you can even do like a minimum 250K USD investment for purchasing residence or getting maybe it's temporary residence. There's tons of places you can purchase residence, and I really want to do something like that. I don't know exactly where I'll go though, but I do want to have at some point in my life, I don't know what I'll do with my Canadian citizenship for sure, but I do want to have at least one other residence. And I mean, I want to go to Japan at one point. I want to check out China. I want to check out, I think Japanese culture, just because I'm seeing EMM's comment here, I think Japanese culture is some of the most beautiful culture on earth. Some of the most beautiful landscape. I would just love to go there. I do love Mexico too, but seeing Corsica and Sardinia, I actually don't know. I gotta look these up here. Let me just get a little bit of coffee. But I actually don't know what Corsica or Sardinia or where they are, but let me look it up real quick. Corsica. Wait, hold on. Oh, in France. Okay. Oh, I would love to go to France. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Let me share my screen here so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Let's see. Damn. This is beautiful. Oh, wow. Are you kidding me? Wow. Okay, that's amazing. That looks like an absolute gem. Holy moly. Okay. Okay, give me another. This is great. So Sardinia. Mediterranean. Let me see here. Is it by Spain? Where are we here? Okay, it's kind of like in the coast in the center there. I see. Beautiful. That looks really nice. Let's go. Where's the pictures? I'm afraid to click images, but I'm going to do it anyways. Oh, wow. Okay. That's a gem. That is a massive gem. Okay. That's sick. Ibiza's great, man. There's just okay. Sounds like we're all gonna have to do a ton of looking around and seeing where the best places are. Because I mean, how do you choose when you have options like Ibiza, Corsica, Sardinia, all these other places? I mean, my God, there's so many beautiful places on Earth. I would love to go to Turkey too. I've heard Turkey's amazing. Let's see. I've been to Mexico. I was in Merida 2 years ago. I was there for 3 months. Beautiful. I loved being on that side of the peninsula, and I love Mexican food. Oh my God. Mexican food is amazing. The Mexican people are so nice. Again, I love Spanish. It's such a beautiful language. And I love being because when I was over in Merida, I was not there's no tourist like resort over there. So I was literally staying in basically with locals, and a lot of Canadians were actually in this little villa compound that I was in. It's beautiful, and prices are great for a nice apartment. You got great views. It's so hot there, and it's not super busy. I love I just love being in Mexico. It's so nice. Dalmatian Islands. That's another one. Let's see here. I love the Japanese culture and their people. Amazing. I want to go, but from what I've seen, I would agree. I've never been there, so I can't obviously confirm, but I would love to go. Would love to go. I would say that's one of my bucket list. I want to go many places, but Japan is one of my bucket list places. For sure. For sure. But I also don't know what time of year to go. So EMM, would love to hear your input on best time of the year I mean, how can you say that though? Because I mean, I would love to go to is it Nagasaki? What's the world famous snow like hill that gets insane powder each year? I would love to come for that, as well as for everything else that Japan has to offer. So I'd love to come for winter conditions and summer conditions and everything in between to check it out. But I don't even know where I'd start. Mexico is absolutely dope. I've heard Peru is amazing. That's probably one of my next places I go to in Central or South America. Will be Peru. I've heard amazing things about it. Let's see. Expensive real estate is Ibiza. I can imagine. I mean, if you got songs talking about it, you're probably going to have expensive real estate, which, to be honest, I mean, personally, I would love to get I'm more a beach property or something like that would be really cool. But I also think having land and having one house and a lot you could build on it in a place where it's not super expensive. There's a lot of value in that too. And having a place where you can go to is cool. But I think I want my actual home to be on a bigger property. Just so I can do stuff with it, because who knows what the future will lead to, and I want to have optionality and what I can build on that. But that's the idea. But I do like the idea of something like Ibiza. That's pretty cool. That Corsica looks like a place you could see in a James Bond movie where the evil villain pulls up in a yacht. Kind of reminds me of like a Monaco. but it's beautiful though. Like those rocks. Oh my god, that rock cliffs are incredible. Oh yeah, Sardinia, 100%. Oh man, so many places. You built a house in Poland, beautiful country. As a Swedish person, I love the different seasons. Okay, interesting. I've heard Poland is amazing. I know some guys that are in Poland, and they speak very highly of it. I would love to go there. Would love to. For me, the criteria is property will have to be in the subtropical zone. If you pull up a map and see the different climate parts of the world. Ah, okay. So you're thinking like subtropical. What's subtropical again? Is subtropical equator or north or just north or south of the equator? I can't remember what that is. Let me just look it up here. Subtropical. Yeah, so like equator or above or below the equator, I guess it would be. So not too hot, I guess, because the equator can be really hot. So you're thinking like southern states or south, like central South America. I don't know if I can say it like that. A little higher and a little lower. Got you. So you're not a big fan of heat then, I assume. Like, oh, big fan of heat, but like there's a limit, it sounds like. And I understand that because man, you go down to the equator and it gets hot. Like very hot. And I love the heat. Love it. Even across the world line. Yeah, across the world. Let's see here. So talking like the south or the basically the northern. So like you got Egypt and all that on the African continent down to the southern tip. Okay, so yeah, you might like Australia then, because you got Perth in that zone. You've got Sydney, Melbourne. I think you even got like the Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast over on the east coast of Australia. And it looks like you've got I don't know what countries there are in the Middle East and Southeast Asia. It looks like I don't think it's Thailand. Where is that? Is that just China? Interesting. Looks like Greece might fit the bill. There's some beautiful countries that are in that zone, actually. But yeah, those are a little more mild. Very, very nice. I quite enjoy the heat, but not too much. Although I do really enjoy the heat. So I could lay out like a lizard all day long and just soak in the sun. Well, obviously not all day long, because I'll burn like a lot. I'll be as red as a lobster. But hopefully someday soon, get to do some traveling. But yeah, let's see. Let's go back here. What have I? Did I miss anyone? Well, it's cool to get to know you guys and see it. How everyone's kind of similar. Everyone wants to travel a little bit. Everyone likes the heat. You got Annika from Sweden, build a house in Poland. This is cool. This is very cool. Let me see here. What else can I talk about here? Well, if no one's really going to join the stream, I mean, if you guys want to keep chatting, I'm happy to. But we're getting almost up to the hour mark, and I'm more than happy to just call it here. This has been a fun time. I'm really looking forward to having this grow and having you guys come on, hang out, and get to know you, get to know one another, talk about the future, talk about what we're excited about, talk about what we're passionate about, and Google Shala. Oh, Salala. Salala? Am I saying that right? Okay, Googling. Salala. I like the name. Let's see. Whoa. That is incredible. All right, I'm going to share my screen. This is cool. This is beautiful. Are you kidding me? That looks amazing. Where is Salala? Travel Dubai. Okay, it's in Dubai or by Dubai. So it's in the United Arab Emirates. Amazing. Okay, sold. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh my god. Wow. I gotta go check that out. That looks absolutely incredible. And I mean, you kidding me? You got the camels chilling in the water. I mean, dude, I want to see a camel in real life. That is so badass. And look at this. Like, I mean, what? I'm sure this is this the same as the Paris of Milan? Maybe these are two different mountains. If these are two different mountains, that's unbelievable. But look at the color of the water and the beach. Like, dude, okay. I'm actually going to remember this because this is probably one of the most beautiful looking places I've seen. I mean, they're all beautiful in their own respects, but like, that's something special. I love the combination of lush with, oceanic territory, cliffs. That to me is just like, mwah. Love it. We've been needing a Saturday stream for sure. Absolutely. We have. And we're here. I'm glad to, be putting it on because I think as these grow, these are going to be fun. I know I'm not expecting anyone to come on right away, but I think as these grow and we get consistent and, people start coming back, we get a little more excited. These are going to be fun streams. Definitely, definitely well needed. Brandon posted earlier saying TitanX 4 to 5 years from now will be insane because math. What's your view of TitanX and Taurus in that time frame? Quite similar, but what he's referring to is, the end game and mathematically what TitanX has a capacity to do and kind of its resistances because of just mining and systemic stuff. But to me, I don't think that implies that TitanX can't do very well in between that time. I think he's just saying the end game for TitanX is absolutely nuts, and that's 4 to 5 years from now. It's around day 2000. And if we go look at the TitanX DApp, let's share this tab instead. We're at day 617. So we got about 1400 days basically before TitanX reaches its 2000 day marker, which means the supply is then capped. So this is a big milestone because this is when mining is the most difficult. All of the difficulty measures are maxed out for TitanX, and the least amount of inflation ever is possible. And also, you have to consider that that's always in relation to ETH. So if ETH goes higher and higher and higher and higher, I mean, the sky's really the limit for TitanX at that point. But the thing is, TitanX still has the capacity in the meantime to do incredible things. And, the way I've designed Taurus is to help facilitate that because it's driving demand into TitanX. It's bringing new people in. Like that's why I have the branding as purple, as gold, not as the green, the black, and the white as we've typically seen. It's not shade at the green, the black, and the white, but it was just to, take a different marketing approach and to stand out just a little bit and, not necessarily require people to know about what TitanX is to get into Taurus, while simultaneously pushing economic energy into Taurus or to a TitanX, which feeds the flywheel. And because of liquidity bonding, when we see, like, here's the thing, when we see TitanX or ETH pumping, we typically see TitanX pumping a little bit more, right? And the same can be said for what will happen with Taurus relative to TitanX. So Nick, you can imagine now, if ETH is pumping, TitanX will pump a little bit more. And now Taurus will pump a little bit more, typically, right? If the conditions are right, that's typically how it's going to be. So we'll have chain reactions where if ETH and TitanX are pumping, Taurus is going to be flying as well, which is going to be drawing eyeballs. I mean, you guys are going to be able to go and share your ROIs, which actually, speaking of that, that's if you guys remember, and let's go and look at this here. In the early days of TitanX, and you still can, you could go and share your data. You could share or you could share your ROIs. You could share all of these different metrics, and it really brought eyeballs to TitanX. And Taurus will be able to do the same thing. So there's a lot to look forward to, and I think we actually have a really great chance of doing something special here, which then feeds back into TitanX, feeds back into the whole ecosystem as a whole. And I'm just one person making things. You got the TitanX 6-pack club, you got the Blaze guys, you got Eric working on stuff in the background, you've got Jake working on his thing. And even if guys are quiet, I mean, dude's probably always cooking. Same with Smooth. Man, everyone's a lot of guys are doing stuff in the background, and hopefully guys that we haven't seen that haven't been as active come back, start posting a little bit more, because we can use everyone there. But I mean, Taurus is, and here's the thing too, right? Taurus is designed to go up in value against TitanX at all times, systemically. Obviously, the price chart's going to do its own thing, but if TitanX is ripping, Taurus, when it's performing well, will always outperform TitanX. It's just by design, right? If it's not performing well, or if it's just going through its own cyclical nature of, creations, and then people decide they want to compound or sell, and it brings the system into staking mode, that means that Taurus will be slightly underperforming TitanX, but not always. Because the thing is, you can be positive in your creation ROI, and the system state could also be in favor of staking the next time you come out, which is an interesting thing. So people can still be massively in profit while the system is favoring staking, which means that people, instead of going and creating or selling to create again, or selling because they're done with the system and they can't do anything, they can just stake and keep earning, which holds the price up and allows the buy and burn to do its own thing, which feeds back into the whole ecosystem. So in 4 to 5 years, I foresee a lot of great things. And one more thing I should add to as well is the reflexive nature of the Taurus pool. I designed it with hopes that one day billions of dollars could enter the Taurus pool and play ball via staking and creating, because of the flexibility of the pool. So that was why I designed it. So 4 to 5 years, dude, this whole ecosystem could be absolutely insane. But in the short term, I don't think we need 4 to 5 years to see this thing perform really well. But that's obviously the end game. Solana only go in October or February. Is that like peak season? Or I'm assuming that's maybe spring, fall, I would assume. Yeah, exactly. Something casual, community oriented. This is fun. It's nice to just wake up. No pressure too, because it's streaming often takes a lot of preparation. So it's nice to just be able to get up, have a coffee, chill for a little bit, come hang out with you guys, and have like a no pressure type stream. Really enjoy this. Visit from July to the end of September. Okay, I got conflicting things here, guys. So either I got to go there all year, July to end of September. Yeah, that's very conflicting. So, but I believe you pointed out. So I have a feeling you may know better, but I mean, this is just conflicting here. My missus is Swiss. She was like, yeah, we can buy a home and live in more winter climate. I told her, first of all, lady, I'm black, I will die. Maybe that's her plan, and balance the climate is nicer. Hey, I mean, if you're already money bags, maybe she's got some interest. I hope not. Nah, she probably doesn't want to do that. But that's interesting. I haven't met anyone from Switzerland, but I've heard they're great people. But I personally, I'm with you. I've done the winter thing. I mean, I love skiing. I love snowmobiling. Winter is fun when I can go to it, but I personally never want to go and live there again. Ever. I have no reason to. Temporary experiences only for me. I spent 20 some odd years in the frigid north with 24-hour sunlight for a month or two of the year. I mean, I'm with you, man. I'll sign a petition if you need help with that to get you out of the winter living. So, yeah. So, Lex, hi, I'm looking forward to participating. Wishing you great success. Thank you, my friend. Good luck in your project, man. Turos is going to eliminate the competition. Well, it's funny you say Turos because this makes me think of churros because it's Taurus, not Turos, but churros are great. I don't know why this is reminding me of that, but anywho, I appreciate it, man. I really do. I am Omani. It's okay. So okay. I'm taking your word for it then, Suhail. Is it Suhail or Suhail? Or Swale? How do I pronounce that? But you're Omani. Okay. It's the seasonal weather. So what do you say? July to end of September. Okay, so now to okay, great. What season is it there now? It's is it fall? Getting into fall now? I don't even know. I'm not super versed on how well the seasons move around globally. Because I know it's summer right now, obviously in the West Coast. See if I can do. I don't want to do math. Don't do math on stream. My mistake. Gotcha. Okay. Sweet. Well, feeling like this is possibly a good time to end the stream. I mean, hey, if you guys want to keep hanging out, I mean, what can we talk about? Let's see. What else is going on here? What's going on in the world? What's something fun to talk about? Let's see. What's going on in the telegrams? What's going on the X's? Let's see. See if we can get something fun. Oh, here we go. This is a good question. Is it 24-hour darkness in Yukon winter then? It's pretty damn close. I'll tell you that right now. So I remember, so basically, you'd see the light, yeah, you'd see the light starting to come up, like it'd be like blue and pinkish purple, kind of like actually the color over my shoulder here. You'd see that kind of in the morning with beautiful sunrises. But they'd come up at 10:30, and then by 3:30 again it'd be dark. So it's not 24-hour darkness, but you have 24-hour sunlight in the summer. And I think usually it's May to the beginning of June, and it's brutal. And it's even worse if you go to Yellowknife in the Northwest Territories. It's even brighter, and that was a shock. So I was there for work back in the day for about a month. I was running. She worked at TELUS for quite a while, and I was a manager before I went over to one of the other provinces to run a TELUS there. I could not believe how bright is you like. You just don't know if it's 5 p.m. or 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. You just have no idea. Like the sun just stays right there. It's wild. And Northwest Territories, it's nice. The fish is amazing there. People are nice, but I didn't really enjoy it, honestly. I really didn't. But the Yukon is beautiful. I really think the Yukon is one of the most interesting places because it's rugged, but there's so much nature everywhere. Like where I grew up, I could go out my front door, walk for 4 minutes, and go somewhere no one else was. And that was everywhere. You could basically go down. You could be downtown in Whitehorse. You still can for the most part, and maybe 5 or 10 minutes now, and you could drive somewhere where there's nobody around. You know, and I love that. That's the one thing I did love about Whitehorse, but hated the mosquitoes with all my heart. Oh, they're so bad. And the 24-hour sun in the summer was hard. But it was a cool place to grow up. It was really cool. And the local hill in Whitehorse, which is where I grew up, which is it was Mount Sema. Love that place. We skied there for years and years. I actually started skiing when I was 18. But so there's some really cool stuff that happened in the Yukon, or that's still going on in the Yukon. People there are really nice. Very different kind of people where it's really like trades oriented, outdoorsy. So if you're into that kind of thing, I would definitely recommend going. I've met or have some friends that went there recently, and they spoke extremely highly of it. Definitely took a toll on them with the 24-hour sun because they went in May, which that's tough. They learned the hard way. But I loved it in Yukon. Oh, no way. My father was stationed in Whitehorse during World War II in the Canadian Air Force. That's interesting, actually. That's really cool. He loved it. Yeah, I hear most people that go there, if you don't have to live there, most people absolutely love it. I mean, The fall is absolutely, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring up some pictures of Whitehorse so you guys can see. Let's go here. Check this out. Oh, I'm going to hide your comments so you guys can see this. So look at, so the Northern Lights are one of the big things in Whitehorse that separate, or that is like its claim to fame. You've got, this is downtown. So Murdoch's, I remember going there now and again. This is, you can see this little purple. This is Max Fireweed. I think Giorgio's used to be, or it's just over here. This is downtown. This is the main strip. There's like one main strip in Whitehorse. This is like the downtown look. This is from, so this is the airport up here. And then this is downtown. It's such a cool place. It's like in a big valley and there's mountains everywhere. It's a really unique place. If you've never been to Northern Canada, I highly recommend it. The winter gets the most Aurora Borealis, or the Northern Lights as we call them, up there. But in the winter, it's gorgeous. Like this is the view in winter. And this is the Yukon River here, which usually freezes over. This is actually Mount Sema. You can see just in the background here. This is the ski hill. And then this is Golden Horn Mountain right here. And it's a really cool place. So if you guys haven't checked it out, it still kind of has Gold Rush vibes. But if you really want the Gold Rush vibes, you got to go to Dawson City. Dawson City it's hilarious that you call it a city because it was back in the day, I think there was over 100,000 people, which by Canadian standards is what you need to be able to call a city a city. But now there's like 1,000 people there and it's still called Dawson City. It's kind of hilarious. Let me bring it up here. Dawson City. Here we go. Okay, let me see if you guys are seeing this. Yep. So like this, I see. This is like this here. There's like two strips. There's Gertie's. Actually, where is this? Because I've been to Dawson a few times, but essentially this is downtown. There's one street. They think the main hotel, I think this is El Dorado, is right here. This is the other main strip here. Klondike cream and what is that, candy? There's ice cream and stuff here, but this is all like old Klondike buildings from back in the day that are still around, and it's pretty cool. There's lots of mining in here. I actually worked in Dawson back in the day on a mining. I was running excavator back in the day, a little bit of rock truck, and doing labor for a family friends, and then yeah, it was quite an interesting time. But it's beautiful and stupidly cold. So not a place where I'd recommend, well, personally, I would want to go back to and spend a lot of time. But I mean, it's beautiful in the winter. It really is. So lots of really cool gems in the Yukon and lots of beautiful scenery. There is definitely gold in them hills. I mean, I've personally found it. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely go check out the Yukon. I think it's a fantastic place. Absolutely beautiful. So let's see here. In Sweden, wait, where was I? It's 24 Hour Darkness. Murderbot is an awesome TV series. Never checked it out. I don't even watch TV, man. I watch a little bit of YouTube, and then so I don't know if anyone else has watched it, but there's a recommendation for you. Murderbot. More like summer. It's hot. Okay, so July to September is summer. Interesting. Sela is exactly as Google shows it. Wow. Okay. Roger that. In Sweden, it's like 3 hours dark in summer. Go to north, not dark. Okay, yeah. So Sweden is definitely on north of the 60th parallel, as we say up, or as the Yukon claims it to be. So interesting. It sounds like it'd be very similar. Obviously, super different culture, super different people. But that would maybe feel like home in some way. So I want to check that out at some point. The 5-minute chart. Did you ever run into anyone from the Gold Rush show? Was it the Gold Rush show, or was it? There's two of them. It was the one with Parker Schnabel. I never ran in. No. Yes, it was Parker Schnabel. I never ran into them, but I worked on a property for gold mine that was right next to them. And the family that I was working with knew them, not very well, but they'd rented them. They'd seen them. So they were right there next to us for some time. The family that I'm referring to doesn't have a property there anymore. Not that I'm aware of. Maybe they sold it. They're not working out on that thing, I think, anymore. But I know lots of people that ran to. They were in Dawson all the time. They loved Gertie's, which is the main. It's like the casino. They have a toe shot where they had this preserved toe that they put in a shot, and you got to take the shot with the preserved toe in it. There's can dancers, which is a northern thing, and they also have Rendezvous up there, which is a pretty big hoot, big party that is very northern festive. It's like games. There's all sorts of northern games. There's like, it's a wild time. It's a lot of fun though. So if you haven't checked out the Yukon, definitely go to it. And yeah, man, living the life of being on a gold mine, especially like a small one. Like I worked on a much bigger operation back a few years ago, and it's a completely different vibe than it's still similar, because what you see on TV, honestly, it was so funny. That was really eye-opening, because the family I was working with, we used to actually sit down in the evenings after work, and we would watch and laugh at these guys, because it's just all show. Like they're just sabotage. Like you can see the crew is like sabotaging these poor guys, and it's making their life so difficult. And some of the decisions that they're making on the show is just like, what are you guys doing? And it was pretty entertaining to watch. So we got a good laugh, and working with a small operation versus a very, very, very large, like massive camp operation versus, literally a 5-person operation. I could say that the show is much more similar to how it feels than when you're working with a massive operation. Yeah, because when you have like multiple D10s and 785s and 2 different mountains, it's that's its own level of sophistication. It's got its own operation, and it's a lot more streamlined, though there's always problems. But man, it can be a gong show on the smaller properties. Like I remember all sorts of crazy stuff happening. That was just like, radio goes off and you scramble to go to a pipe that's come off, that's putting water into the plant, and you gotta jump off, shut things down, run over. Oh, it is kind of like the show, which was kind of fun looking back. It was hectic as all hell in the moment, but man, it was quite the experience. I'll tell you that right now. Right. Yep. Michael Snow, good to have you here, sir. Taurus is right. Very, very soon. July 9th to 11th, somewhere in there we're launching. If you're watching and you don't know, so join the Telegram. We're going to have plenty of Telegram calls coming up into the future. And if you're noticing, I'm starting a little bit of a schedule here. I'm still locking it in, which is why I haven't announced it yet. But I want to do a daily Telegram call first thing in the morning, 9, 10, 11, something like that, PST. I want to do a stream or some kind of content daily, even for 30 minutes. Like they're not always going to be like an hour plus, because I know an hour plus content is a lot to take in, and it's hard to catch up on all that. So they're not always going to be super long. But just to get the momentum going again for myself, because when you go, I'm sure as you guys know, it's for anything, right? When you go and stop doing something for a while and you get back into it, there's that momentum that you're got to build again. So you almost feel like you're rusty. It's hard to get going. And this is great for me to get going on the streaming side, on the content creation side. And we'll see. Maybe I don't do content every day. Maybe I do content 4 times a week. We'll see. Really depends on what I have the capacity for. And what I feel is needed too. That's the thing, right? I'm all in on this. So I don't have TV either, though. Annika says, but computer, you can see what you want. Exactly. The propaganda in TV is really. So it sounds similar to Canada. Although it's mostly the news stations, but like you turn on any station here in Canada and there's propaganda. I mean, there's the case to argue that there's propaganda really on everything, because really it's semi-biased in all aspects, and it's really hard to get the truth. But I hear you. Canada's definitely propaganda heavy, which is unfortunate. But yeah, that's the one thing I like about the internet and having the computer is you can filter out the noise and you can go closer to the truth. which is fantastic. And with all sorts of crazy things, like Canada has 2 bills right now that are working to be passed, which is Bill C2 and Bill C5. And I was talking about them on Spaces yesterday, and I won't go into it here because, I want to make this a little bit lighter, unless you guys really want to get into it. But starting to get a little frustrated with the amount of push that's happening politically for surveillance, for breach of privacy, for invasion of rights, for government control. And I'm getting a little tired of it, to be honest. So, and I won't be surprised when the day comes that me saying even that here on stream could get me in trouble, which it's a pessimistic viewpoint. But I said this yesterday on the Spaces as well. We say here in crypto and finance, the trend is your friend. And I think the same is true for people's behavior and a government's behavior or institutions' behavior. The trend for government is to revoke rights, to gain more power, and not typically to give them back. I don't know of any rights in Canada that have been taken away and then given back later. Typically, it's a one-way street. So I'll just leave that there. Yeah, it is what it is. But the great thing is there's a lot of us here that see it. And, who knows what we'll be able to do about it. 5-minute chart. Welcome. I did a lot of work in Fairbanks, Alaska. I've been to Fairbanks. Sounds similar to Whitehorse vibe. Fairbanks is bigger. Oh, I have a hilarious story for you guys, actually. So there's an TGIF. There's a Thank God It's Fridays. Or there was. I don't know if it's still there. I was there years ago for the state motocross. Was it the event? I don't even know which one it was, but it was like the state motocross championships or something like that. And I went up there. And also, by the way, people from Fairbanks and Anchorage are, this story is from Anchorage, but I'm going to tell it anyway. So this is Anchorage. I went to Fairbanks later, and that was a hell of a good time. But Anchorage specifically, I was there to TGIFs, and Vanilla, I'm getting your comment. I see that. It's a cool comment. We'll get there. I was in Anchorage, and is after the races. We went for a meal, and at the time, do you guys remember Man versus Food? He was this guy who would go out, and if you don't know, he would do these food competitions. He'd eat the most food. It would be like these challenges where like it's this huge burger, or like eat like 3 pizzas, get a free meal. And it was like legendary challenges. And he used to go and also do these hot wing challenges. And I actually don't know if this guy's alive anymore. I wonder if he's had a heart attack or something, but I hope he's all right. But I love watching this because it was entertaining. And so I go to this TGIFs, and we're all sitting down as my family and family friends, and we're all sitting down, and we'd ordered these, like, I don't know, semi-spicy wings. The typical, like, you just get mild or hot wings, and it's like hot buffalo sauce. It was nothing major. And at the time, it's been ruined since then, as you'll understand. The waiter sets the food down and sets the happy down, and we're munching away, and I'm enjoying them. And for whatever reason, he decides to think that I like spicy food because I'm the only one gobbling them up and not being fazed by it. And so he asked me, "Hey man, do you like spicy stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, "Well, do you want to try some special wings? I can't charge you for them, but they're the chef's special recipe, and I can give you 2 of them if you like." And I was like, Man versus Food flashes before my eyes, and I'm like, "Oh my God, hell yeah, I'm in. Okay, let's do this." So he goes away for a while. I order my meal. I get my meal back. I'm like a bite or 2 in, and I see this little plate on these guys holding. He's walking towards from the kitchen, and and as he's walking by my family, like my uncles there, my aunts, and I could see everyone's face just turning like, "Oh my God, like what is this thing?" And these things are black as hell. So finally he sets them down. And at this point, looking at everyone's reactions, and I think I was 18, 19 at the time. So full of testosterone and highly competitive. My friend that was there, him and I were very competitive, as guys are. And Everyone's telling me, do not eat that. I'm thinking, I ain't touching this. This is insane. And he looks over at me and he's like, pussy. And oh my God, set me off. I lost it. So I start gobbling into the first one. I didn't even think about it. As soon as I heard that word, I'm like, oh, I'm going to show you. So I start diving into this first wing, get halfway through the second one. And I swear to God, it was like someone opened my mouth, dropped a nuclear bomb into it, then stuck a knife in my tongue and started dragging backwards. I couldn't believe how hot it was. So I started losing it. And the waiter, anticipating this, he had like a full tray of lemonade. I think I dummied the whole lemonade in like 6 glasses in like 30 seconds. I'm freaking out. I try to run to the bathroom. I run into the kitchen because I'm all disoriented, and I try to run out of the kitchen because they're all like, no, it's that way. They all knew, they all were prepared for this. So I run out of the kitchen. I fall into the wall because I'm like out of it. I almost faint. I go into the bathroom. I'm trying to get this out of my system. People are all like, what's happening? I got people like trying to shake my hand in the bathroom. Be like, you're crazy, man. You're crazy. And this was the whole night of me scrambling. And so I go back and I ask the guy, what were these wings? He's like, oh yeah, those were ghost pepper extract, the chef's special recipe. And so I'm forever scarred, but the story doesn't end. So I get out, I go outside for some fresh air, and this guy he's smoking a cigarette, and he's across the door, and I'm like red in the face, sweating. I'm literally dying. And this guy asked me, he's like, what happened to you? And I'm like, the wings, man. I'm like sweating as I'm saying it, panting. He's like, they're not that hot. And I'm like, triggered instantly. Like, what do you mean they're not that hot? And so we go back and forth. And I finally yell at him something like there wasn't they were called the Inferno wings is what was on the menu. I'm like, it wasn't the Inferno wings. It was the chef's special recipe. And his eyes get really big. And he ashes his cigarette. And he sticks out his hand. And he's like, I had no idea. You're crazy, man. I'm sorry. Takes my hand and walks away. And so we get back to the motocross place and wake up the next morning. I had a stick that I need to walk back with because I couldn't do it. Because I could barely walk. I was so disoriented and out of it. And the next morning, I get up, and when you take something in that's that hot, it's got to go out. So the next morning I wake up and my system says, okay, it's time. So if you can imagine a nuclear bomb coming in, I'll leave you to the imagination of what it'd be like on the other end of that spectrum. So the whole first race the next morning, because it was day 2, I couldn't sit down. So I rode the whole first practice moto standing up. So that's my memory of Anchorage, and Fairbanks was not so violent on the body, but it was great. It's amazing people that are in Alaska. So there's my story time for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. They haven't taken any of my rights. Once you know how they operate, you can start taking trust fraud, and they pee their pants. I would love to hear you elaborate more on that. Because I'm looking into, different structures and different entities to, be protected from all that. But I think it's an important conversation to have about protecting yourself, protecting your family, and learning how to not let them basically overreach, and them being the government, not the abstract they that we always refer to, but literally the government. Would love to hear your take on that. It might happen. I know a lot of people in Alberta, I know people that are in Alberta, but I know of a lot of people that are in Alberta that seem to be pushing for separation, and could be interesting. I think there's a few provinces. I think BC is on the table technically. It's not like there's a big push for it, but I've heard BC, Alberta, and I think there's one more that I've heard rumors spreading about at least a little bit of interest in doing so. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think I know enough, but as of right now, I'd be okay with it. So we'll see, man. It's a wild world we live in. Speaking of that, Alaska is wild. I mean, when you're driving north from the Yukon into Alaska, those mountains are absolutely incredible. I got to say, Alaska was one of the most beautiful places to go and drive into. It is a long drive. So from Whitehorse, I believe it's like 14 hours, I think, from Whitehorse to Anchorage. And my God, this is just such an amazing drive. Yeah, especially when you start getting into Alaska and see the mountains. Incredible. So if you guys haven't checked it out, go to the Yukon, go to Alaska. The northern country, I'll say, in North America is astonishing. So different. So different. So with that, though, I'm seeing we're at about the hour and a half mark, and I feel like we should wrap it up here. I think I've said it 3 times now, but I feel like this is perfect time to. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this hangout. Nice casual, something different Saturday mornings. Nice, easy way to start the day. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, have some fun plans, or go and hang out with cool people, or have a nice relaxing time planned. I'm going to get out. I'm going to do some climbing today and get a little bit more content prepared for the weekend and get prepared for this crazy week, which means Taurus is going to be launching between 9th and 11th of July. And so I can't tell you the exact date or the exact time in there, but go to and join the Telegram group, which is t.me/TaurusWin. I'll put it in the chat here for anyone that's not already in there, because I have a feeling this Telegram group is going to be quite the place to be once Taurus is live. We're going to have lots of VCs regular in there. It's going to be kind of a hybrid of, the X spaces and also of more casual conversation like this, where it's anyone can join. You just need your voice, and you just come hang out, ask questions about Taurus. I think there's going to be a lot of really cool educational conversations that are in there, and really hoping to have a lot of you smart cookies that understand the space really well be coming in, sharing your insights, sharing what you're seeing, and we're going to be talking a lot about the data. So if you haven't already, join t.me/TaurusWin. Make sure you share this stream out and let people know that it's happening, so we can bring in the community. We can get a nice hub for people to come join. And I'm hoping in the next one of you or more is going to jump on with me, hang out, and we can talk life, talk anything and everything. So thank you guys so much for being here. I thought this was a great way to spend a Saturday morning and hang out with all of you. So have a great weekend, and we'll chat again very soon in the next one. Peace.